I bought a high-rise condo in front of the station.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Why did he bring up that story all of a sudden? Besides, he purchased it?
It's great because they have a really nice view and the rooms are clean.
Wait, I don't quite understand. It's outrageous because he moved out of our current apartment and into a luxurious condo that he bought behind my back while I was staying at my parents' house. No kidding, where did that money come from? While I was panicked, he made no apologies and said,
I made a down payment with money gained by selling our...
What?
I'm gonna live with mom and dad in this great house. So I don't need a parasite like you.
He decided to live with his parents without consent and kicked me out. I got so speechless I didn't know where to start. My name is Sarah. I'm a pregnant 32-year-old housewife. I'm 8 months pregnant and counting down the days until I see my baby. My husband, Richard, is 3 years older than me, 35 years old, and he works for a major company. We got married 3 years ago, and I was really happy to finally get pregnant because we had been struggling to conceive for a while. But at the same time, I was terrified of my first childbirth every day, so I visited my husband's parents' house to relax. Sarah, you're gonna have a baby soon, huh? What's it like to become a mother? It hasn't hit me yet. The woman who talked to me like this is the wife of Richard's brother, Jane. She is the reason I visit my parents-in-law's home. I don't talk to my brother-in-law, but I make good friends with Jane because she is a housewife and lives with my parents-in-law. My mother-in-law got weak in the legs 2 years ago, and her family was worried that they would leave her alone at home during daytime. So, Jane, the wife of the eldest son, is looking after her. However, she just sometimes needs a cane a little when walking. She actually can take care of herself. But Jane is caring and also had worked as a caregiver, so as soon as she heard about the mother-in-law's legs, she agreed on taking care of her on the spot. I was impressed with how quickly she can make her decision. My brother and sister-in-law have a 5-year-old daughter already. Because she is a more experienced mother, seeing her can ease my anxiety about pregnancy and giving birth. Time has passed and now I have 1 month until my due date. I had been planning this for a long time, so I decided to visit my parents' home to prepare for giving birth. While my belly felt heavy, I enjoyed doing shopping for my baby and thinking about our new life. I felt relaxed, as it was the first time in a while to spend a long time at my parents' home and it felt refreshing. As I spent time like that, I started to have contractions, 2 days after my due date. I tried to contact my husband, but he didn't pick up the phone or texted me back somehow. I first got worried that he was busy with work or he got in some trouble, but as my labor pains quickened, there was no time for that. All I could think about was giving birth to my baby. Then I had my baby safely. I gave birth to a cute baby girl. I held my adorable baby in my arms for the first time, and I felt I couldn't be happier. He was supposed to attend the birth of our baby, but he ended up not showing up to the hospital. Honestly, I wanted to complain to him, but I was too tired from giving birth to do that. So I decided to text him that I had given birth to a baby girl and fell asleep. I guess some time had passed. I woke up to hearing someone calling me.
Are you still asleep?
Huh? Richard? Is it morning already?
Are you half asleep? Get up, Sarah,
said my husband. When I opened my eyes, I also found his parents behind him. He said happily,
My parents came all the way. You've got to appreciate them.
Although I told him beforehand that I didn't want to see anyone as much as possible after giving birth, I wondered why he took his parents here on his own. Why didn't you come here without replying yesterday? I asked him with irritation.
It couldn't be helped, because I promised to go eat sushi with my parents yesterday.
What? He gave priority to that kind of thing? But you could come even after that, right?
Oh no, I drank a lot, so I thought there was no point of showing up drunk. So I was afraid I would be rather a trouble for you.
I can't believe it. He enjoyed drinking and having sushi while his wife was struggling. But he didn't even notice that I was irritated, and he asked me, where's our baby? She is in the nursery. She's a healthy baby girl. As soon as she heard me said so, my mother-in-law made a face. What? A girl? Such a useless wife! What? What did she just say? And my father-in-law also said, both Jane and Sarah blew it, you're pathetic. I can't believe it. He insulted me who went through giving birth rather than thanking me for it. Then even Richard said, oh damn it, I knew it was a girl.
But I was not sure, so I got my hopes up a little. But what the heck?
I didn't get why he was so disappointed. However, he said, my parents had high hopes for us. I thought I didn't have to get worried about air things, as Richard is the second son, but they expected me to have a baby boy because the first grandchild was a girl. But it doesn't matter to me. For me, no matter what kind of child it is, my baby is the apple of my eye. He should feel the same way, but I couldn't stand him as he took his parents' side. Although I was seething with anger, I still felt so tired and sore after giving birth that I didn't even feel like getting angry. Then, a nurse considered my feelings and kicked them out of the room. Apparently, she heard our conversation through the wall. I wept tears and she comforted me. Since then, he never even came to see me in the hospital. Then, my daughter and I have reached the day of discharge. I had my parents come pick us up and went to their house because I didn't want to go home like it is. I wonder why he became such cold-hearted. I feel like he used to be more caring when we got married. What made him become such a person? It might be... He really messed up at work 2 years ago and caused a big loss for the company. However, his colleagues made up for it, so he hadn't been called to account after all. But the fact that he dropped the ball made him off the track fast. He can't be back on his career track no matter how hard he works. It's possible that he got apathetic for the situation. That could be the reason he got cold to me even at home. On top of that, one of his colleagues became his boss. My husband was actually better at his work than that colleague when they joined the company, but their positions got reversed because of his mistake back then. I think he couldn't stand it. He started to get stressed about every little thing. Although I felt dissatisfied a little with him, I expected him to change himself when we had our baby, but he doesn't even seem to try. What's gonna happen to our family in the future? I feel overwhelmed with such anxiety. Richard gave me a call suddenly.
Hey, when are you coming back? You've been over there for almost 1 month already since you had a baby.
I wasn't really ready to come back home. Sorry, I'm coming home soon. It's time to turn over a new leaf and get it together for my daughter. Just when I thought so. I've got a lot of stuff for baby, so I want you to come pick us up if you can. When I said so, Richard said something shocking back.
No, you don't have to bring those stuff back. I just have business with you. Maybe I should have just told you to drop by here rather than to come back.
What do you mean? I just didn't get what he was trying to say. Then he told me an even more shocking fact.
I bought a high-rise condo in front of the station.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Why did he bring up that story all of a sudden? Besides, he bought it?
It's great because it's a really nice view and the rooms are clean.
Wait, I don't quite understand. He moved out of our current apartment and moved to the luxury condo he bought behind my back while I was staying at my parents' house. No kidding. Where did the money come from? You should not be able to take out a loan with your salary. While I was panicked, he made no apologies for saying,
I made a down payment again by selling our house.
I found out another new fact. Can he explain more simply, not just giving the facts little by little? It's confusing. What do you mean you sold our house? Where's your parents living now? When I asked him, he looked excited and answered at the drop of a hat.
Daddy and Mommy live with me in the condo now.
What?
I'm going to live with them in this great house, so I don't need a parasite like you. Get the hell out.
He decided to live with his parents without consent and kicked me out. I got so speechless I didn't know where to start. He started to call his parents Daddy and Mommy suddenly, and also told me the fact that they lived together in the condo. On top of all that, he He told me to get out like asking for a divorce. As I was left speechless, he continued,
You're cocky even though only a housewife. You're useless without my salary. Besides, you've always been a couch potato these days.
What is he talking about? That was only when I had terrible morning sickness. I had been quite busy until right before giving birth other than that. But he wouldn't stop.
Our baby also wasn't a boy. You're totally useless. Mom and Dad are also saying it's better to be with a younger woman who appears to be able to bear a boy rather than a woman like you. Also, they told me they didn't want to live with my brother and his wife together anymore. I'm keeping your stuff in a storage room, so go pick them up sometime soon. Well, that's about it. As for our divorce, I've just sent you divorce papers, so make sure you file them.
Then he hung up on me. I was too shocked and couldn't leave there for a while. Why did I get married to such a bastard? I can't help feeling that I made a really bad choice. But there's nothing I can really say. I have my daughter. I need to get it together for her. After coming to terms with myself for a little while, I made up my mind to cut the connection to him and start a brand new life. I'm not gonna let the bastard control my life anymore. Divorce? Bring it on. I'll make him understand which of us is gonna regret it more. Not to mention, my parents hit the ceiling when I told them about my situation. They agreed to help me to divorce him. As soon as I got divorce papers from him, I signed and filed them. After half a month, he suddenly visited my parents' house.
Hey, what the hell is going on? Why has this much money been withdrawn from my bank account?
He threw his bank book down on the table and yelled at me. But I stayed calm and said this to him. Don't you know the word division of property?
What? That's bullshit. The name for this bank book's account is mine. Plus, I'm not gonna give you even 1 cent.
Last time, I was just being bombarded with words, but I got better both physically and mentally after half a month. I won't be argued down like before. It's true that I put some money in your bank account, but it's our shared property. I actually put my money in the bank account too, so I'm gonna take my own money back.
Screw you. Why would I give you my money?
I got sick of him. Did you already forget? As your salary went down because of your stupid mistake at work, I started a side job at home.
But there's no way you earned that much.
Just so you know, I earned as much salary as you did.
What?
Anyway, I'm gonna have you divide our assets for sure. Plus, you are the one who asked first for a divorce, right? This conversation is now over.
You're freaking kidding me. I don't believe it.
When my father, who kept silent until then, heard him say that, he started to talk.
Well, how about we take it to court over this? Huh? How dare you insult my daughter? I can't help but feel sorry that my daughter had to go through such a rough time because of you, you bastard. Get out of here. Ah!
My father is a policeman. Having gotten scared of his menacing look, Richard ran away from our house. That's how I broke off the relationship with him safely. We've also settled the issue of asset division. Since then, I've been working hard at raising my daughter, staying at my parents' home. I'm getting used to parenting, and above all, she's just too cute. I'm living a happy life with my cute baby girl. After a few months, I kept getting these unexpected calls from someone. I kept ignoring the calls as I didn't know the number, but they called me a few times, so maybe it's from my boss or colleagues. I decided to answer the call anyway. Hello?
Hello, Sarah?
It was actually Richard who called me. What do you want?
How are you doing?
Huh? I don't really want to talk with you about that. Can I hang up already?
Wait. Can you come back here?
What?
I actually have trouble paying my mortgage for the condo and I'm likely to be kicked out.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not surprised. You're short on cash or something, aren't you?
Yeah. I found myself using up all my savings. Daddy strained his back and has a terrible back. He had no choice but to quit his job. Mommy boasts to her friends about her life in the condo and always throws a party.
Haha, that's so your parents.
I'm at my wit's end with it and don't know what to do.
No wonder. he shouldn't be able to pass the home loan screening with his salary. I guess he was able to buy the condo with his savings, his father's salary, and a down payment on the loan. Now his father can't work, and what's worse, his mother spends lavishly, but he has to pay living expenses for them. There's no way he can pay off the condo.
Then I found out my bank balance was zero, and I was told to get out if I can't pay by next week. Please come back, Sarah. We loved each other once before.
After I laughed a lot, I spoke calmly. Give me a break. You just want to take advantage of me whenever you want, don't you? You're counting on my salary, and you just want someone like a housekeeper who does housework for you, no? When I said so, he fell silent. Also, you called me a parasite, didn't you? Would I not just be in the way?
Well, I just chose the wrong words at that time.
While he was making excuses, I remembered I had something that I'd been worried about. By the way, what about Jane and your brother?
They've already moved out and are living together now. He got in a fight with our parents. When my brother told Dad to live a more suitable, he lost his temper. Dad was like, I don't want to be told anything to do by someone who married to such a useless woman who couldn't even have a baby boy. Then my bro, who's usually calm, blew up. I heard he left the house saying, I'll cut you guys off if you keep making fun of my wife.
I see. Sounds like his brother is a decent person. Good to know that he cares about Jane.
Please come back, Sarah.
Are you stupid? Who would ever come back to you? I have my hands full only with taking care of my daughter. I can't afford to deal with jerks like you guys.
Jerks?
By the way, did you call your parents daddy and mommy at home? It's disgusting to act like that at your age.
Don't say stuff like that, please. You can take our daughter here.
What? Weren't you gonna live with our daughter when you first asked me?
Well, I mean...
Oh, I know. You don't even remember you had your daughter, do you? I would never take my daughter to such a despicable father. Do not ever call me again. If you ever show up again, I'll call the police. My dad is gonna arrest you. When I said so, he made a pathetic sound as if he remembered my dad's menacing look. But I ignored that, hung up, and blocked him. This time he called me with his new number. I changed mine too. A little later, Jane contacted me and we decided to meet up for the first time in a... I'm sorry for not contacting you for a long time. Actually, we moved to the country, so we've had a hard time arranging internet access to our house. Jane and her family have decided to live in the countryside in a peaceful setting. I was invited to her house for the first time and found it to be a very nice town with a rich natural atmosphere. I thought that if my child grew up in such an environment, she would be a very happy and good child. Incidentally, my brother-in-law told me about my ex-husband and ex-parents-in-law who were eventually evicted from their high-rise condo and left with a debt loan. But he has to provide for his parents on his own, and he's having a hard time making ends meet, basically living in the red every day. It was the cherry on top. I, on the other hand, work from home and live out of my parents' house. I can work anywhere, so today I'm going to go relax at Jane's house for a few days or so and then go home to my parents to spend some time with my daughter. When my daughter is a little older, we can move over here and live near Jane's. With such hopes for the future, I happily spend my days. Buying a high-rise condo while your wife is pregnant is crazy. Well, maybe if you're rich. It's too weird to do that with normal income. At any rate, I'm glad she got rid of such an unlikable husband. I hope you will continue to live happily with Jane and your parents, with everyone getting along together. Thank you for watching to the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you like. See you in the next video.
My name is Amy. I live with my husband, my daughter, and my mother-in-law. My father-in-law passed away early in his life, so my daughter has never met him. I also just met him a few times, but he passed away soon after. So I started living with my mother-in-law just a few years after we got married. My mother-in-law is very sweet to my daughter and my husband. Therefore, My daughter was closer to my mother-in-law rather than me. I was strict with my daughter and tried not to spoil her. So my daughter and my husband, who were spoiled by my mother-in-law, were very hard on me. I felt lonely every day because I didn't have a place for myself. My mother-in-law bought everything my daughter wanted. She spends my income without my permission and asks me to make ends meet with the money that is left over. My husband kept finding a job and quitting, so his salary was not stable and we were living mostly on my money. I told my husband, "Please get a job," but he would get upset and say, "I'm doing my best in my own way, so don't tell me what to do. You're working to pay the bills. I'm supporting you to do that. You should be grateful." I don't understand how he can say such a thing, as he is better than me. He must know that if my salary were to disappear, he would not be able to make a living. But they seem not to care about that, and they just keep spending the money. As my daughter got older, the things she wanted become more and more expensive. I would tell her to be careful, but of course she wouldn't listen to me. I have been wearing the same things for years. My mother-in-law buys my daughter new clothes every week, and she looks down on me. It's my money, but the one whom my daughter says thank you to is my mother-in-law who buys for her. And my daughter treats me like an enemy. She seemed to have forgotten that it was me who earned the money. I sometimes wonder, am I wasting all my effort and time on everyone in this family? I just want to give up everything. But for the sake of my family, I was always thinking in circles and could not come up with an answer. And yet, my mother-in-law would spend money for my daughter, and my husband would spend his own salary for himself, so we had no savings. I sometimes felt afraid that we might not be able to make ends meet without borrowing money. Fortunately, we're not in debt yet, but if they keep buying my daughter whatever she wants, we will not be able to make a living in the near future. So I have warned my husband, mother-in-law, and daughter many times. You are non-blood relative to us. I won't let outsiders complain about us. How we use the money is not your business. That's how it ends up. I wonder who is spending the money earned by someone non-blood relative. Moreover, my husband said, "You want to say that you are earning the money, don't you? But what's wrong with spending it? We're just spending the money we have at home. We're not borrowing money, so what are you complaining about?" He would say things like that. My daughter will be laughing at me. She would say to me, "Work harder." I was depressed because I thought I had raised her wrong. I have to work and do housework every day, and it's really hard. But working makes me not think about my family, so I think it's the best thing to do. No matter what I say, there is no one in this house who will stand by me, no matter how busy I get at work. "Hey, Mill, hurry up." That's all. It's my fault that housework is not done. It's my fault we don't have money. I can't take it anymore. I'm tired of working and I'm tired of being at home. I don't even have time to sleep. So even though I was mad at my family, I honestly did not have the energy to get angry with them. So I got into the habit of working before I got angry. But this life was taking a very heavy toll on my body. One day, my daughter said to me, "I want my pocket money. I'm going to high school now. Grandma does buy me things I want, but I don't have any money." I said, "Why do you need pocket money when you got what you want?" "You're so mean." "Ugh, useless. That's why Grandma and Dad don't like you." She said so and went back to her room. Pocket money. I knew it. I knew that my mother-in-law was giving her pocket money from my salary. She said it was from her pension, but it was my money. My daughter didn't know about that, so she thinks I'm stingy. I don't care about that, but when my daughter's gone, she laughed at me and say, "You have to earn more money to make a living. Your daughter's on my side, so no one will listen to you." She smirked and said so. The stress piled up and I finally collapsed. The doctor told me I had a stomach ulcer. I needed to be hospitalized and the surgery as soon as possible. When I told my family about it, my mother-in-law said, "You're not that weak to be put in the hospital." Then my husband said, "You can't stay in the hospital. You have to work." When I saw their reaction, everything I had endured until then exploded at once. "Enough! I've been supporting you all this time, but I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving." That's all I said, and I left home. I completely cut myself off from them and stopped having anything to do with them. I asked my parents to bring me what I needed for my husband's day and to spend any other belongings to me, even if I had to pay cash on delivery. I also told the company that I wanted to make a new bank book for my salary. I made sure that the three of them could never touch my salary again. My parents said, "We're so sorry you had to endure this. When you finish the treatment, just come back. We'll have a good time living together," they said. I was so worried about going back to my home that I couldn't stay calm in the hospital, but after hearing that, I felt much better. I asked the hospital not to allow anyone but my parents to visit me while I was in the hospital, but neither my husband, mother-in-law, nor my daughter come to visit me. I had a lawyer to help me with everything I needed for my divorce, so that I never had to see them again. The stress was gone. My ex-family members seemed to be against divorce for some reason, saying it was never going to happen, but I don't care. I was at my limit. The division of property seemed to be quite difficult, but they had spent so much money that there was nothing left. So there wasn't much to share, which was easy for me. After I got out of the hospital, I continued to work at a company. Life with my parents was very calm. I didn't feel any stress at all. Until I was gone, they used to spend my money as they wanted, but now they couldn't do it anymore, so I am able to save up a lot of money. And I am able to refresh myself and go on vacations. I feel regret why I had not left earlier. One day, while I was enjoying my morning, after several years of divorce, my husband contacted me. He seemed to be very impatient. "Hey, we've been living on my money for a while, but it reached the limit. Our debts have gone up and we can't pay them back. We've been living as a husband and wife so long, so you owe me, don't you? Give me some money." How dare he ask me for money? I was utterly disgusted. "Why don't you sell your daughter's various luxury items? Or sell yours and your mother's? Or the house? There are so many ways, aren't there?" When I told him, he got angry at me for being so heartless. I guess he forgot how they had treated me. I clearly refused about the money. I have nothing to do with you people anymore. When I told him that, "You're the only one I can count on. Please." My husband became weak. I had no sympathy for him though. I hung up the phone. Then my mother-in-law and my daughter called me. My mother-in-law said, "I was wrong about you until now. We had a very happy life because of you." My daughter said, "You gave birth to me, didn't you? Thank you, Mommy. Thank you for earning so much money for us. Let's get back to live together again." What the hell are they talking about now? I don't know what they're thinking. I was so fed up with this stupid family that doesn't even realize that it was too late for everything. And I rejected all incoming calls. I made up my mind to never get involved with them again. The next day, I got a call from the police. They said that my husband and my mother-in-law had stormed into the hospital where I used to be hospitalized, and they went into the ward where the patients were staying. "Where's my Amy? Come out!" and made a big fuss. The police arrived shortly after and seized them. They stayed overnight in the detention center. They asked me to take them in. I told him that I had nothing to do with them anymore and hung up the phone. I don't know what happened to the family after that, but from the looks of things, I guess the debt got too big and they couldn't do anything about it. Cockroaches are strong, so they may still be able to survive somewhere. By the way, I'm having a good time with my parents. I'm thinking of taking the trip to a hot spring with my family as a token of my gratitude. I didn't know that a peaceful life is such a blessing. I hope I can continue to live a calm life from now on.